Hi everyone, I am Noah Bass, and today I'm going to share with you the Excel add-in with an example of how one can use it, and hopefully that'll give you enough of a sense of some things you can do with it, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, so the way I'm actually going to start this is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to just open an Excel workbook so that you can see what it is that an Excel add-in can accomplish. So we'll start at the end, and then I'll show you how we got there. So this is one of my Excel add-ins that I've created, a workbook. I'm just opening it up right now. So this is the workbook, and you can see there I've created a workbook with 4 tabs. Now, to give you sort of an advanced understanding of these tabs, this is all the data in my pay table. This is all the data in my plan rates for training table. This is all the data in my DTOLI for training table. And last but not least, this is all the data in one of my calculations. Okay, and you can see it's got all the data from the system in here. Now, if I want to refresh this data, because this is just the data as of the last time that I pulled it in, all I have to do to refresh this data directly from Varicent is I go to my little Varicent Excel Add-In tab here. I say refresh data. I can either refresh the current sheet or I can refresh the whole workbook. So I'm going to do refresh the whole workbook. It then would normally actually pop in with a login over here where I would give it the URL that I use for the admin client, the username and password, but I'm already logged into the system, so you won't see that this time. And I'll just click the refresh data. What that does is it actually updates all of these sheets. It'll update the calculation results, the table results for all of these sheets. Okay, so this is a nice way if you have a bunch of different tables that you want to be able to see at once. Maybe it's all your pay tables, maybe it's all the tables related to a certain plan, and not have to go into Vericent and open them up in the different tables. Just a nice way to get it all into one workbook. Now, the other benefit of this is there are some other things that you can do here. So if we look here at the Vericent tab, you'll see we can import data in. Well, these have already been set up to import, but I'll show you how we'll set up a new import shortly. We can upload. So if we actually want to make changes to the data here, we can do that. Refresh just re-downloads all the data, and we can even kick off a calc in our model from here. The reason to do that is likely if we're going to be changing some of the data and then we want to see the results in Varicent, so we might want to kick off a calc after that. So some examples where we might use the upload, the obvious one would be, let's say we go to our SP plan rates for training and we just want to change the rate from 0.20 to 0.25. Okay, we can do that in a couple of records. And then simply by clicking the upload data, it will actually upload the current sheet directly to Varicent. And if we were to go check in Varicent now, we would see that the results have actually been updated there. If we try to do something that violates the primary key constraint, it'll give us a complaint. But let's say, for example, we don't just want to upload the data, we also want to create some new data. So you can see we have data here for through to the end of 2024. Let's go ahead and create a record here for data for 2025. So we're just going to go like this. Oh, looks like I may have overcopied here. We've got some results. I'm going to just sort this here by the start date. Let me just see what's happening here. Okay, so let's just go with a simple record here. I'm going to take this record here, and I'm just going to say in 2025, I have one for the sales rep, level 2 for the monthly commissions for training. I have one tier, one step. I'm just doing that for simplicity, and it's from 0 to 9999. Everything is paid out at a rate of 0.15. Okay. And again, we just click our upload data. Okay. Now we violated, and this is good actually. It tells us we violated the primary key constraint. I did forget to change the start and end date. So that means we actually have 2 rows saying what step 1 should be for this plan for this component. So by changing the start date, because that's part of the primary key, to January 1st, 2025, and the end date, let's make that December 31st, 2025. And now I click upload data, it will magically work. So that is a cool thing you can do with data. So now if I were to close out the workbook and I click save, it will be saved with all the new data. And certainly next time I come into this worksheet, I can just refresh the data if I'm not sure if the data is all current. Otherwise, if it wasn't current, if I didn't refresh it and I started making changes and I uploaded the data, I'd upload some newer data in the system with this older data that I had saved. So now I just want to show you how to import a brand new, you decide you don't just want those tables in that calculation, you actually want some more data as part of your workbook. You want to add additional tabs to it. So I'm just reopening the workbook and I'm going to actually, I don't even think I need to create a new tab. I'm just going to go ahead and say import ICM data. I'm pretty sure it will create a new tab for me. Okay, it says which model do you want to pull it from? Well, in this case, I'm going to pull it from my Workcentive base model. Again, I already signed in to the instance that I'm looking at, so that's why these are just showing up without asking me for a sign-in. And do I want to pull in data from a table, a calculation, or a data store? So far, we've done table and calculation. Let's pull in a data store. Now it gives me a list of all my data stores. I am pretty sure that I should have data in this data store. So just for the sake of this, I'm going to pull in that data store. And then I can actually add a filter. So if I wanted to create a filter to say only give me data from the last 12 months, I could do that. But I'm not going to do that for the time being. I'm just going to go ahead and click import. And you'll see what it did is it created a brand new tab for us, gave it the name of the data store that it pulled from, and all the data. Now, I wouldn't be able to modify this data. If I tried, it would give me an error because it's a data store, and you can only update data in a table. You cannot update data in a calculation or a data store. There's some other elements of this, which I'm not going to present today, but I'll just kind of give you excuse me, a highlight for, which is just getting the actual Excel add-in itself. It's actually just a matter of going into to the Microsoft Store and searching for Varicent. If you're not entirely sure how to do that and you go to the Varicent support portal, it'll give you directions on how to do that. But it's pretty straightforward once you go to the Microsoft Excel store, add-in store, you'll see it's just one of the ones that are there. And I think that's all I have to show you for today. So hope you enjoyed that and feel free to contact me for questions. I did want to actually show you one other thing now that I think about it. Here's just a list of steps you're going to want to do if you get started with this. The first one is download the Excel add-in, as I just described. Once you have that add-in, if you try to use any of the functions, it will automatically prompt you to connect to your environment. Then you can download all the tables or calcs that you want into your workbook. You can make any changes you want to the table data. You can then save the file, reopen it, refresh those tables so you have that data up to date. And then once you refresh it, make any changes you want, or you just, maybe even make a pivot table to review some of the results from a data store calculation if that's what your reason for wanting to have it in Excel. Okay, hope you enjoyed. My contact information is noahbass@workcentive.com. Feel free to reach out. Thanks.